Hello, everyone. My name is Ovi. And before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for getting me to the 500 subs as we came into the new year. That was great. That was one of the goals I was trying to get, 500 subs just in time to start the new year. And you guys got me here. And actually, now I'm a little over that. So thank you very much to everyone that subscribed. And with that said, I had once I did my last video last year, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do for the new year? What's gonna be my first video? And I said, well, I'm gonna continue with the whole professions and making gold and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a script and just go over everything that I want to talk about. But as I was writing the script these past few days, I just kept getting into this headspace where like it was getting me upset. I was getting angry. It's just the tediousness of it, like a lot of things, right? So I was trying to get all that done, but at the end of the day, I was getting upset. But now this news I just dropped today was just the catalyst to me. Like, you know what? Screw it. We'll do it live. I'll just do it off the cuff. And that is basically what I want to get to today. We're gonna go over what this post is and see what we can get out of it, and then I think I have a few more points that I want to touch upon, depending on what we see in this blue post. So let's get to it. Okay, so here we are. We have this article that got posted on Wowhead. That's how I found out about it on my Twitter feed this morning, and I was like, oh boy, we got to go over this definitely. So I'm gonna go over the whole thing. So buckle in. This might take a while, but I want to see what they're saying and what I can get from it, because I only glanced over it real quick. I didn't, because I was at work, so I couldn't really read everything. But we're gonna see what we can get and a little bit of commentary in between. So here we go. Okay, so it says here, Blizzard, to speak a bit to the original question of this thread. Are the devs sure that the crafting order system is a success? So from what I understood from this is that there was a thread a while back ago that was made, and now they were finally getting to it. All right. So it says, the crafting order system is by no means perfect. Well, that is an understatement. There are many ways we would like to improve it over time. We have been having many of these discussions internally, as well as listening to feedback from all of you. Since this is such a new system, though, we don't want to make any snap judgments and make big changes before giving things a chance to settle and seeing how it develops over time. Okay, I have a big problem with this statement here, because how to start? When they were doing the changes to the auction house before, back in Shadowlands, you kind of like give you a heads up, and then they implemented it, and it was like, it felt like there were significant changes, with the regional auction house and this kind of stuff. So, but it seemed like we had time to absorb the change before, like, the new expansion came out and really tested the stuff. Like, we kind of got a good time to test that, and it feels like this new revamp, we didn't get enough time, especially the crafting orders. We got that very late, and that is something that definitely could have used a lot more time for us to really flesh it out, to get it to more players, get the beta out to more people, so we can really see or try to get an idea. And I realize that beta sometimes doesn't pan out. Like, once live goes live, it just turns into a different monster, right? Different beast. And so I get that. But I feel it was just too little. There was so many things to unravel and find out, and try to find all the little nuances and all the little bits about how everything was going to affect, your points, your skill, the different specializations. I personally did not have that much time, and then I'm guessing that do this for a living had way more time, but I didn't see anybody really expand more than even myself did with what I put out from what I could get from the professions. But this the thing is that I feel I don't feel the expansion was rushed in general, but I do feel that the professions were rushed. And for them to come and say, "Oh, we don't want to make any snap judgments," it's kind of like, well, you kind of just threw everything at it. You know, the kitchen sink. You basically broke something that wasn't broken. It was working as far as Shadowlands, as far as crafting and selling and making gold and everything was fine. This was just, I think, too much, too quickly to absorb and understand. Because even to this day, there's people that comment on my videos. What about this? What about that? How'd you get this? How'd you get that? There's a lot of questions still left to be answered, and actually, I wanted to go back and make like a refresher to explain everything, and I was planning on doing either that or this video, the one that I was writing the script for, to like saying, okay, guys, a lot of you people are coming in fresh from Christmas or whatever it may be. This is the things that you got to look out for, because there's still a lot of questions out there. So for them to not not wanting to make big changes or anything, I think they could have gone a lot slower with their new whole revamp, especially since it's becoming so complicated. It seems like as far as the talent systems for like the combat, the PvP or PvE stuff, kind of like that, it seems like it was absorbed a lot easier. Maybe because they gave it to us for a longer time, that we had time to absorb it and see kind of which way we were going to go. But as far as the professions, there was definitely less time. All right, let's go on. It says here, we do believe that the system has been successful in one of its core goals, though, to enable crafters to make soulbound, useful gear for players at all levels of play. Okay, this elevates the overall value of professions within the game and helps to deliver the fantasy of being a crafter, creating valuables for yourselves and others. This is the thing that it's not just like you could get the items. I feel like before, when I had my alts, I could a lot easier make gear for them. Because the gears that you can make, the ones that are like for the sparks, you have to have not only the sparks but the chaos, right, to make that. So I feel that was like one barrier too much for like just regular alts you want to have. For your main, sure. I think as far as your main, you're doing the content and you're gaining all those things. So much so that there's been a lot of people that have been saying, hey, I got so much of this, I wish it was account bound so I could send it to my alts and then get that done. So that would have been great. Helping your alts, kind of like in Shadowlands, when you had your main that had a whole bunch of flux and a whole bunch of these other soul ash and all this kind of stuff, to be able to send it over there, then yeah, that would help more people craft more stuff. Okay. It says it has also been successful in providing a new way for crafters and customers to interact, one of which is inherently more social, and when you get used to it, hopefully more satisfying than previous ways to do so. But again, very much not perfect. Okay, if there's one thing I've learned with this game, is that people do not want to be interactive. Maybe in the past, people really wanted to be social and talk and chat and this and that. But very recently, I have gotten an experience that people do not want to deal with other people. And so that's why the auction house was just a good place for you to just put your stuff and get sold. This whole thing of trying to get people to interact and to talk and stuff, I don't think has been very good. Now, before we had all the booster spam in trade chat, now we got all the spam from all these crafters, just continually spamming and spamming and spamming and spamming. That they can do your crafts. As far as the public order system goes, it seems to be working well as an easy way to get something crafted for yourself if you aren't worried about getting the best quality and want it quickly. Okay, what the hell is that? Everybody knows that nobody wants an item that is subpar. Everybody wants the best quality and they want it now, right? This whole thing about, oh, let's just craft it now and wait for and worry about it later. No, that doesn't fly. Everybody wants immediately rank 5 or the most highest thing. They do not want to go they don't want to go, take 1 step, take 2 steps, take 3 steps, take 4. They want to go straight to the top. There's no, like, I remember when Shadowlands Legendaries, everybody wanted to go straight to rank 4. Nobody wanted to buy the rank 1, right? And then slowly, but no, they saved as much soul ash as they could just to go straight to rank 4. They hate this. They don't want to go by step. They want to get the best now, right? So this whole thing about them thinking that players were going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll start with my rank 1 and then I'll work with my rank 2. No, if they can't get it, they'll keep looking and looking and looking till they find someone that supposedly can make them a rank 2, or they'll just wait. And further, it says here, this was always the intent. Well, again, that's the intent, but it's not the reality. It says, we definitely wish that as crafters, it was easier to find public orders to fill. Unfortunately, even though there are quite a few public orders going through the system, given the minimal effort it takes to fulfill a public order and the relative number of crafters around to fill those orders, there will almost never be many orders up on any given There will almost never be many orders up at any given time. I'm guessing that says at any given time. With the way it currently works, they get filled too quickly and easily. Okay, don't go making this thing harder. Okay, it's fine as it is as far as being easy, right? And being filled too quickly. It's just that. Okay. There is no demand for these things. There is very little demand because, like I said, they don't want to go crafting it step by step. They want to go straight to the top, right? And honestly, there isn't that many things to do right now, since the sparks, particularly, which are the ones that we're all talking about, all this crafting gear that uses the sparks and uses the chaos. People are being very choosy, very, very choosy to what they craft. And some people are hoarding them because they don't know what to get yet. They're trying to see where they're going to be. And it's not working the way these people thought it was going to work. We are looking into ways to have more orders to fulfill, though, because for most, we think it tends to be a pretty satisfying activity and a great way to earn skill and a bit of gold when you can find an order to fulfill. Okay, here's a big problem that a lot of people are trying to get their regular skill, the base skill from 1 to 100, and they're stuck at 65, 70 skill, and they cannot push past that because there's nothing to craft. And a lot of those crafts are, at least 1 guaranteed skill point, or most of them say 3. So those are the ones that are going to push you to the end. A lot of people have had to resort to wasting their own sparks or getting their alts, high enough to get the spark and then to get the chaos to craft their own items that will give them the skill points. I had to do that on one of my characters. I said, okay, well, I have to craft my own stuff and then get another character up and running so then I could do his stuff so that I could get finally skill points to get me, to 100 to help me then create the other items that people want at rank 4 or rank 5, right? Oh, and a bit of gold is correct because there's a lot of screenshots out there that people will put for 1 silver, not even 1 gold, 1 silver. It's just so bad. Who the hell, even if it is just to push a button, Who wants to do that? How does that make you feel? Right? You're putting all this effort, and some schmuck comes up and says, "Yeah, craft me this gear, and oh, here's a silver for your trouble." Not satisfying. Okay, it says, we also think the guild/personal order side of things are working moderately well. These methods allow players to connect and get their items crafted with more control. There are several issues we would like to much like to improve, though, including helping better connect customers and crafters. There is nothing wrong with a bit of effort to get the best gear or to attract customers. This is currently mostly accomplished through trade chat, though, which, while it does have a nice social component to it, something we love to see more of, it is by no means an ideal way to find a crafter for a specific item, or a customer to craft for. 2. Helping better support interactions between players who are depending on inspiration to reach a higher quality level. Okay, here's the point that I want to make. Who in the flying fuck decided that it was a great idea to put this RNG inspiration thing into crafting important items? Now, I get it. Maybe you want to put a little flavor in, consumables or food. Maybe you kind of like, okay, I'm getting all these items, and I made a pot of stew, and usually it only, made a dish, and usually it's only it serves 4 people. But guess what? I happen to get a 5th plate, right? That's kind of like the flavor, the fantasy, or whatever that you're getting. And I get that. But for... I just imagine if you, I don't know, I can't even think of anything right off the bat. I don't know. Let's say you buy a shirt, right? You go online and you say, hey, I want this T-shirt, and I want it in size XL, right? And they're like, well, I have a 30% chance proc that it'll be an XL, but it could be as much as a small, or it could be a medium, or I can guarantee large. I can guarantee you a large T-shirt, but that XL, I'll have to recraft it. I'll have to recraft it to see if I can proc the XL so they can fit you. To me, it feels kind of like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You get the pieces and you make the craft, and that's it. Where in the real world does this happen? And even if you wanted to, make this into a fantasy, like I said, I get it for the other like consumables and stuff, and you get a little bit of extra. But for gear, but for weapons, where does this whole inspiration thing? It just adds RNG. And if there's anything I know from being a gamer, people hate RNG. They hate it. I come from Hearthstone, where it's like RNG, oh my god, the guy can top deck with the single card. A little bit is fun. A little bit of RNG is fun. It gives it a little flavor. But so much so? So it's this whole thing about, helping, like, no, get away from this inspiration crap as far as, like, for weapons or very important things, It's like, oh my god, I went to the raid and I got this very rare gem or something, or this metal, and it can be turned into, a piece of armor, a brace or whatever the hell you want to make. And you're like, oh my god, okay, it's very rare. I want to make sure it doesn't go to waste. And the guy's like, sorry, man, I gotta give you a percentage. I can swing the hammer one way and suddenly I don't hit it real good and I completely waste it. And you're like, fuck, can't there be like someone that can actually do it right off the bat, not with this whole RNG shit? Okay, let's continue. We suspect that as players finish getting their high-end crafting gear and complete purchases of other one-time uses for Artisan's Metal, players will be more willing to use Artisan's Metal to guarantee higher quality crafts. where did this artisan's metal thing come from? Where in the hell I really wish the people that are behind this revamp explain to us where the hell this crap came from. Artisan's metal that you need to craft to make weapon, profession equipment that then needs to continually be made better by getting skill, by making things to put back into the trees to help you make it better. And then when you finally stop, increasing it or upgrading it, then the metal you have, you can, more freely spend to guarantee higher quality crafts. Why? Why the hell make it so complicated? Just get rid of this thing. Get rid of the artisan's metal. All right, so let me go over it again. We suspect that as players finish getting their high-end crafting gear and complete purchases of other one-time uses for artisan's metal, like the Artist Consortium, right? Players will be more willing to use artisan's metal to guarantee higher crafts. Okay, that will help, but even then, inspiration will always be a useful way to get max quality gear crafted. The crafting order system is not supporting this as well as we would like it to, since as a customer, you cannot place an order and know exactly what you will get. Did you not see this? What? Oh boy. You need to rely on a handshake deal. Your crafter has the inspiration they promised when attempting to craft items for you. Oh my god. This is sometimes I just sit in Veldraken, right? Because I'm just glossing over the professions, right? Just looking where I'm gonna put points into, right? And I'll just be like, oh my god, I can't stop thinking of what, just thinking and thinking and thinking where the hell I'm gonna put my points into. And I glance over to the trade chat, and all of a sudden I see people saying, oh, I have 43% inspiration to this and that. And I'm like, how in the flying fuck are you people guaranteeing 43% inspiration? Are these people lying? I'd be like, because even sometimes I think that I saw someone complain that they were, I can't remember where this was. I think it was in a forum. They're like, yeah, the guy said, he had 30-some%, but I had to recraft it 5 times. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. How in the hell did he need 5 times to recraft a thing? And I'm like, are these people skamazing the players? And I'm like, yeah, they probably are, right? Because you can have like a resourceful, right? Stack up your resourcefulness, and I have no idea how you could, like, even how much you could get, right? But you would think there's some expensive items there. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the hat. Like some metals or something, some kind of reagent. And let's say you get into 3, but you recrafted a 4th, 5th, 6th time, and you get that proc, and you get a little more money. Maybe it is because a lot of people are upset that they're crafting these things for not that much money, right? Not that much gold. They're probably saying, oh, 50K for the craft, and like, no, this and that and that. So then they'll be like, okay, I'll charge you, 20 or 50 or 10 or whatever the amount may be. But they're like, haha, joke's on you, because I'm gonna make you recraft this thing as many times because, oops, sorry, it didn't proc. What can I tell you? You still want it or not? What's the customer gonna do? Say no? They'll be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, there's the benefit of the doubt, right? They were like, okay, it didn't proc. Okay, let's try again. Here's more stuff. Oops, sorry, it didn't proc. Yeah, what can I tell you? You know, RNG's a bitch. They just start hitting those resourcefulness procs, right? And you know, they just kamaz them out of some shit. So that's another thing. It's just like, oh my god, you people, what did you do? Okay, where did I lift off? Okay, yeah. You need to rely on a handshake deal to your crafter as the inspiration they promised when attempting to craft the items for you. I'm guessing people have been maybe filing tickets. You know, hey, this guy said he's going to do this, and he, you know, probably skamaz me, because I'm sure there's some smart people that are like, yeah, I think that guy screwed me over. In addition, there will be lots of other quality of life features we will be looking into to help making it smoother to use, easier to learn, and more. Where was all this from the beginning? Where? We were telling them, hey, we need more time, or, you know, hey, especially the crafting orders. Where are the crafting orders? Where are the crafting orders? We want to test this stuff out, you know. We kind of got a good idea of the professions, you know, the specializations, the knowledge tree, the skill points, this and that. You know, we were going over, but the crafting orders were going to be a big thing. They were going to be a big thing. Why was there no more testing? More time. Okay, as always, thank you for the feedback. We will continue working to improve professions in general and the crafting order system in specific. Meanwhile, happy gathering and crafting. More like happy gathering, because nobody is crafting. Everybody is gathering now. Everybody's a herbalist, a miner. I'm not too sure about skinning, but one thing I can tell you. Oh, I wish I had recorded that. But I was mining and herbing on my evoker, which is my last character that hasn't been leveled up, and I started mining and herbing, and all of a sudden, I'm gonna put a clip or something about how it looked. It was like a strafing row of like bombers or fighters just going like literally 5 people landed on the same node, like boom, 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 boom. I landed, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. 3, 4, 5 other people landed on the same freaking node. And I was like, what in the world? Right? And the one guy was actually pretty nice, because there was a node right there, and then there was like one of the explorers packs right next to it, but there was a mob, and I tried to get to it, right? And the mob, you know, obviously aggroed me, so he could have just gone in, you know, yoinked the fucking thing, and then gone off the way. And there was another person that was there still, so there's 2 more people. And no, they were pretty nice, and they helped me kill the mob, and then we all went together and clicked on the pack. So that was pretty nice. You know, it's like, yeah, we're all in this together. We're all out here herbing and mining because that's the only thing that's making us any money. So you know, let's not be dicks about it. That was funny. All right, here we go for the bonus content now that we've gone over the article and seen what they have to say. So these are just a little recap of a few things that I wanted to say from, you know, the previous script that I was writing, that I'm just going to go over real quick so we can touch upon them, and just this be the bonus content. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the restrictiveness of the specializations, in that you and they have since made a statement that they're going to change how these get unlocked. So before, you could only get one if you had 4. You got the first one at 25 skill points, then at 50, then 75, and then 100. But if it was 3, I believe you got one at 25, one at 50, and then the last one was at 100. So now they're changing that, and they're bringing them all back. I think 60 to 75 is like the most skill points you need to unlock them. The thing is that still doesn't solve the problem of you actually getting to those to those higher skill points, because you still need to, you know, even me, like for instance, here I'm at 75. Well, at least here but this is because I actually built some of my stuff. Like here, I built myself some goggles, right? And I think I built something else. I can't remember what I did, or was it for an alt that I did? I think some wrists, but it's just that it's this thing, right? Getting past here to unlock it. So, like for instance, right now I can't unlock explosives. I unlocked these other two, which was a bitch to get my third one because I had picked optimized efficiency and mechanical mind, and then I wanted to get function over form so I could get to, you know, making goggles, and once I'm making the goggles, I get the wrists and stuff. What the hell is that? You know, and that's the only one that I have my points for. Now the other one for leatherworking, I have all these knowledge points. I have no idea where I want to go. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to leatherworking and leather, but then I'm doubting myself. Like, do I want to even go there? You know, because what if I get stuck with these and I can't unlock this one? Maybe I want to do primordial instead, right? So now I have to worry to get leatherworking up to 75. And, you know, when you start looking at this, you're like, well, but where am I going to get points from? All these things, they all need the stupid sparks and the chaos. Everything needs spark and chaos. You know, this I need to get lucky enough to find somebody that wants me to craft it at you know, I can craft it at rank 3. Oh, no, but they want rank 4, you know, or at, you know, rank 4 minimum, and then with a chance to get to 5. And then plus another thing is that some of these are locked high ass renowned. So unless you can grind your ass to get yourself to those high renowns, you won't unlock them, right? So that was the thing, being restricted to these specs where it's so hard to get into, and then once you finally get into, there's nothing really to help you. Like this wouldn't be an issue. This wouldn't be an issue if you had items you could craft that would give you a guaranteed skill point that weren't these high-end stuff. This is just, I should be able to do these right off the bat, you know, and them get me all the way. But, you know, I gotta go into Decayed. I gotta go into Bestial. What the hell, you know? Maybe these kits that I can get from the Cobalt Assembly, maybe this is the case for the other work, and that might get me, you know, up there. But the Artisan Sign, I gotta get steamed. These, you know, this doesn't help. This doesn't help. Another problem I have is how do people, let's say they just got the game for Thanksgiving, they got the game for Christmas, or they just got it in December because they got their, you know, their Battle.net gift card or whatever, however it is that they got it, right? And they're just starting, and they come to realize, holy moly, there's nothing I can craft because I barely have, I don't know, let's say 30, 40, 50 points if they get all the treasures, if they get the profession teachers, they get all the stuff, and they get the beginning, and then what? They're out of luck. How do they catch up? Where is the catch-up mechanism? Let's not make it super easy, but let's make it clear. Hey, you are behind. This is how you're going to catch up. You can buy this thing off the auction house, or you can go on a quest, or, you know, every week you'll get, instead of getting just, I don't know, 10 knowledge points, your knowledge points, or your skill, your knowledge points, they'll be worth 2 for 1. 2 for 1 until you get to where supposedly everybody else should be, right? Or an average of where they should be. But there's no catch-up information anywhere. Okay, here's a biggie. Here's a really big that I have an issue with. Not knowing, not a clear understanding what affects what. So there's things here that are like, oh, you know, this will affect reagents, but then how do you go about testing it? How do you go about finding out that, yeah, okay, so if I put points into this, it'll actually benefit the item that I'm trying to, you know, get my skill up, right? There needs to be more clarification that, okay, this is going to be for these items. It affects these items, right? because I'm thinking, okay, that goes for inks or that goes for that. There is no like. I think there's some professions that are a lot clearer than others. You're trying to find, okay, is there multicraft for my reagents? Where is it? And you're scouring. Okay, is this it? Is this it? Or how do I get more skill? Okay, it's like, especially for like engineering. Engineering, you're all like, okay, so this says one skill in all engineering crafts. Okay, but over here it says one skill to all engineering crafts. So is that the same as this? This one, all crafts related to equipment and their enhancements. Okay, so what do you mean by equipment? Is that gear? Is that what? That is a big issue for me, because there's been some professions I've put points into thinking it's going to boost, my alchemy or my files or something else, and it has no effect. I'm like, wait a minute, but I thought this was gonna, help me get my reagents up, help me hit that inspiration, or help me hit that multicraft, and it does bupkis. And I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's because it's not clear. That can lead to a lot of frustration. And then once it's spent, you can't be like, oh shit, like give me back my points because it didn't, work as I thought it would. And that just causes more friction because it's not clear. Another point that I made was the whole thing about RNG, about crafting a sword, a piece of equipment, and there being an element of RNG where you could literally have a rank 4 item and it could somehow get pushed down to rank 2, right? Because you don't know if you put that order out where it's going to land or whom it's going to land on. Then that person, let's say you do get some person that can proc that level 5. Again, RNG. Why is there RNG in mission critical items? I understand you want to do it for, consumables or other types of things. Add a little flavor, little luck, but not make it so much so that you, let's say, I don't know, that your inspiration is 30%. There should be a way where you can either increase that significantly, or just get rid of it completely. And this goes to RNG in general. I'm not a fan of RNG. We already have to deal with RNG with the dungeon drops, with the raid drops, with then rolling on these said items. It's just RNG sometimes can really be a stick up your ass. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna say, last but not least, no one likes to lose gold. Let's say you don't make any gold, you break even, but when you lose gold, oh boy, that will drive you up the wall. It's driven me up the wall, right? Fortunately, I have enough gold where the amount that I lose, only causes me a certain amount of upset and anger in that moment. But, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I've spent money on other things. I've lost more gold than that. But again, with this whole RNG system, I tried to, and I'll put some screen caps here. I finally decided on my enchanter. I got enough points. I'm like, okay, I have to make a decision. I'm tired of seeing this stupid little thing on the side, on the right side of my screen saying, "Hey, you have unused skill points." Finally, I'm going to use them. I'm going to pick a branch, and I'm going to specialize in that. I said, okay, you know what? For enchanting, I'm going to go for the best enchants. And I went for Sophic and Frost Devotion, right? For your weapon enchants. I'm like, okay, I got enough points. I got enough metal to make my crafting, my equipment and my tool, and enough points to spread it around so I can get enough inspiration and enough skill to guarantee that at least every, third craft I'll get inspired and I'll get the higher rank enchant. And so I did that very small, right? But I did spend a lot of money. I did spend a lot of gold. Let me see if I have how much I spent. spent here. Okay, according to my notes here, I spent 316,720 gold to acquire all the mats, right? And that was only for 10 crafts of each. 10 crafts of the Sophic Devotion and 10 crafts of the Frozen Devotion, right? The top 2 best-selling, most profitable weapon enchants. And so I did the 10 and I said, okay, it should proc about a third. One of them, I did get 3 out of the 10 to be rank 3s, and the other one I only got 2 to proc rank 3s out of the 10. So I said, okay, it's fine, because, you know, the next 10, I would probably get 4, right? 4 out of the 10. So I put them up for sale at that same time, and after the auction house cut, what I got was 256,640 gold. So I lost 60,080 gold in that attempt to make make gold off of the enchant. And that's the thing. How can you find the market? How can you budget? How can you you basically have to run simulations before you even attempt anything. Before, these simulations was just for people that wanted to sim how much damage, you know, their character can do, and now I have to sim how much money I can either gain or lose with all these things and different ranks and monies and stuff. Why? This is just unnecessarily complicated, that now you have to basically write algorithms or find, you know, this craft sim thing has been pretty cool as far as, like, you know, telling you stuff, but it's more work. When is more work more fun? I understand you want to make it more interesting, but not harder, as far as making you have to get more add-ons than the ones you already have to deal with. It's just, it comes to that. It's just, nobody likes losing money. You make an attempt to make money. Let's say you try to carve out yourself a little niche, making kits or making this or making that, and it's so volatile. And then you have to add RNG, and then you have to have procs for resourcefulness, procs for inspiration, procs for multi-craft, procs for this. It's, who came up with this? They could have gone easy peasy. Let's do this. Let's implement one thing. Let's implement another thing. In the end, I think this, honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think this whole revamp is a failure. Yes, it does have interesting things. Yes, it had good intentions or good ideas, but in the end, it's a failure, because the social aspect of it, the whole RNG aspect of it, the super complication of the whole thing, it's just, it's personally, it's driving me up the wall. Because I've not only had to concentrate, there's people out there that probably have one profession, two professions, and that's all they deal, and that's all good enough for them. I'm a person that has to have every single profession, because that's just how I like to be. And in Shadowlands, it was not an issue. It was not an issue. All of them I knew who could do. It was really fun jumping on my alt, and I need potions. Okay, well, jump on my potion maker, my file maker, and he'll send me some stuff. Cool. I need some bags, or I need this, and it was nice to have alts. Nice to have them all, you know, learning their legendaries and learning their stuff. You know, I can make a new character, and it's ready to roll with its legendaries. All I have to worry about is sending it soul ash or soul dust or whatever the hell it was that you needed to craft the things, and I was actually having fun. But now this, with not only that you have to go out, okay, I like that you have to go out and you do stuff and you get your knowledge and you kill mobs and you bring back stuff and you do the crafting orders. But again, if the crafting orders were there, right now they've added secondaries, you know, reagents. That's just made it easier for me for my alts to, you know, do the crafts, which are cheaper, and get me that weekly quest. That's it. That is it. Well, that's it, boys and girls. Like I said, this was going to be a long one. I have no idea how much I'll be able to snip and cut. I'll do as much as I can. If you're all the way down here at the end of this video, thank you for staying. Thank you for listening, and we'll see what we can do later on. There's other things I have planned. Like I said, I was writing that script and trying to get everything in order, but you know what? I feel more comfortable just getting off the cuff. It might not be the best, it might me be rambling here and there, but it's just my style. What can I say? If you guys don't like it, you probably left ages ago. But if you did stick around, hey, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll try to make everything a little more concise next time when we talk about more stuff. All right, guys, see you in the next one.